Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and I am truly inspired and excited for what I hope to share today and where today may lead. Because, well, where to begin? Let's start where we start. The thumbnail: Thoughts of Peace Thursday, from the scripture, Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you a future and hope. Those words are beautiful, beautiful to me. So let's carry these words a little further and see what they mean, right? What I found for myself, the way to accept these ideas that the Lord has plans for you to prosper, not to harm you, despite the conditions of the world. Notice the awareness of breath. Your awareness of your breath and your breathing in this present moment with me right now. The awareness of your breath is an awareness of life. And that awareness of breath and life today is evidence there's a future. And that knowledge right there, that, okay, I'm here and now, I've got this breath, I've got this awareness of my life, I can find hope. The hope is there. The future is there. So as we continue the stream, we continue our day today, for the future we all hope for, a world of peace. My prayer, may we all walk in the divine faith, divine love, divine peace, as shown through, taught through Christ Jesus. The life of Jack. So where I'm at today, the topic, what world are you a part of? I was considering the many world theories, the many universe theories, but more so paying attention to my own little world and observing what I've experienced and what I've been noticing. And so, brothers and sisters, those of you who found your way here today, sincerely, thank you. Thank you to all of you who may tune in, join us today. Our greater future grows from here. And the direction we grow, well, there's a lot of variables involved. So since yesterday's stream, there's been only a few little bizarreness in my experience, but for just simply showing up in someone else's live stream, I apparently earned myself some insults and ordering around by some character I've never even really spoken to. So I've invited him to join. If you're here, you know who you are, and I hope we can talk later. But realizing my experience, who I am, I'm just an ordinary guy living my life at this time on earth, just like you and everybody else. My testimony, my words I'm offering, the words I'm sharing, it's an honest testimony. And I trust that our Creator, the God of life and all that is, it gives us these experiences for the honest testimonies to be shared. Because as we share ourselves honestly and with authenticity, we share lessons, different perspectives. But if they're not truthful perspectives, they're pretty much worthless. So I've been faced with many worthless perspectives people coming out of the woodwork to offer forth public accusations, public insults, attacks of my character. My life, my testimony, I found faith in God. Um, what was my note? God, I had so many thoughts on these short notes. In my experience, I th- I thought I was a part of the world I was living in. Clearly, I was not a part of the lives of those others around me, not in the way of significance that I felt in my heart. I felt I was connected to my friends, my family, my neighbors. I was connected to the security of my employment, a good federal job at the United States Postal Service, making way more money than I thought possible without going to college. So I had a world I lived in, and in hindsight, I was clearly doing a lot of things wrong with my drinking, with my stinking thinking, my depression, my anger, my emotional insecurities. They were wrong. But the world I was living in turned out I was lying to myself. Okay, and the foundation of my life and the routines that I'd grown accustomed to for over 20 years at the same job, you get accustomed to schedules and routines. Well, it all fell apart for me. And when the world I was a part of fell apart for me, I fell apart. I was lost. I was so scared. I was so confused. I was so angry at all the betrayals and all of the attacks. I didn't know what was going on. I'm so grateful that happened because because of the fact my life foundation was shaken and changed. I had time and opportunity to really go within myself, to really try to understand, who am I? Why am I here? And along my path of trying to discover, who's this Jack guy that nobody wants around? Who is this guy? What's his problem? What's his good things? Where is he going to find the connection and the solutions he's looking for? Well, I've talked openly about my newfound faith in God, my newfound love of Christ. I'm quite open about these things, and yet people want to say I'm wrong. What I've learned through my honest testimony, you who have found your way to this live stream, you can pay attention, you can dismiss, you can disagree, you can argue. I don't care. But if you can take the words that I'm offering, consider them for yourself, and play your own mental games to detach yourself from the old ways, from the limited thinking, from the corrupted ideas. If you can allow your own pride to fall away, it allows your humility to grow. And in this life I'm living right here that brought me to today, I thought I was a humble man in my past. I thought I was gentle. I thought I was kind. I clearly wasn't. I was clearly prideful and arrogant and emotional. Um, hey, blessings to you. Warning, cultists probably want to use you for a punching bag today or tomorrow because they have been humbled recently. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on here, online and off. But hey, this is an interesting time. We are all experiencing this amazing time in history all together. Where my mind went in line with that comment was I've invited a couple of people today. Some I care about, some genuine invitations. I'd love to have conversations, and then some prideful people who think they know it all. And I already see Tommy down here in the in the chat. Tommy's one of those who thinks he knows it all. Well, pride happens before the fall. Um, thank you, Dr. D. Head. Although God loves all of us, he will still look more kindly upon those of us who obey his commandments and live lives with which he approves. That's a great get to the point, Jack, because that's where I was going. In my experience, I found faith in God. I developed this relationship with God that I did not know was possible. I'd never met anyone in my personal life who had a relationship with God like I feel I have now. But here's the paradox of my testimony, right? What causes confusion amongst the prideful and the competitive? My life didn't change. I mean, as a matter of fact, if you listen to the stories, my life fell apart. Why would anyone want to choose God if their life is going to fall apart? If everyone they care about is going to leave them, why would anyone do that? Well, I said it before. I'm so grateful it happened. I can't imagine living my life any way other than how I have lived. I mean, certainly there was times and mistakes I made. I've certainly learned and grown a lot from the past, but this faith I found, it didn't change my life. It didn't change the world that I lived in, although the world I live in drastically changed. What changed is how I live, how I feel about the world I live in, how I feel about the life I am living. When you feel the presence of God within you, with you, it transforms you. I encourage you, play these mental games in your head. I did this earlier. Besides my inspirations, I still continue my practices of devotion, silent prayer, meditation, reflection on gratitude, and I choose heaven. I take my mind into the heavenly realms. When you allow yourself to humble so much that you know you mean nothing, that's where your freedom begins. Because that's the truth. Without God, all of us are nothing. Without God. With God, we become a part of everything. So, what world are you a part of? Are you a part of this small world where you got echo chambers around you telling you how great you are, telling you how important you are, or are you doing that to yourself? Are you telling yourself you're important? And maybe others are confirming it, but don't believe the world. See, in my consideration of what world are you a part of, I've been watching more history and paying attention to different things. And the idea, one of the things I realized, like right now in the conflicts between Ukraine and Russia, there are American citizens, right? Corporate CEOs, these corporations and all of their employees who are under their direction, they're actually involved in these conflicts where there's thousands and thousands of men and women dying in Ukraine and Russia. I mean, those battlefields are just one of the many here on Earth at this time. There's many of these wealthy elites, the cabal, those who have taken over and and presented themselves as powerful people here on Earth. They're living in a separate world than you and I, right? These hedge fund managers on Wall Street, the the nonsense that happens in these boardrooms, right? There's many groups, little cliques of people gathering together to make very powerful decisions that affect thousands, millions of people, right? If you look into the nonsense that America did in Afghanistan, Iraq, millions of people are affected by what America chooses to do. See, if we're a part of this world, then we're a part of the whole world. We're fooling ourselves if we tell ourselves, oh, me and my family are safe because I got 16 weapons in the bedroom. Me and my family are safe because we're disconnected and we don't register. Brothers and sisters, we are a part of this entire world. And it's my faith and it's my belief that the words that were passed down for us from the Bible, that's a love story. It's a message for us. The rules of God, the rule is to love and to be honest and kind and good. We're not here to be battling each other, to be punishing each other. If we want to overcome the world and the corruption that we all know is there, the immorality that's in the media, the immorality that's just throughout the corporate and government systems, these practices and traditions of oppression, militarization, it's not the world we want. It's not the world we were given. Well, it is the world we were given. It is the world that we are all creating and experiencing. These ideas of what world are you a part of? I realized how small my own world has become in the physical world, right? I don't have the money or really the reasons to travel big distances anymore. And so, the travel is very, very close in my geography these days. I try to connect elsewhere in the world to become more connected to the greater world through the technologies we've got today. But this morning, my thoughts on waking again. It is time, brothers and sisters. It is time for us all to unite. I believe this is God's plans, is that humanity will unite together to bring heaven to the earth. That's like the happy ending. It's the return of Christ, the return of love. These God and the Bible and life, they do not have to be so complicated. Honesty is the way. And if we're honest, there's no reason for us to be so divided. There's no reasons for us to be at war with what the truth has shown. And the truth shows us each and every day. I feel like I'm losing track of my original thoughts. I'm going to go ahead. We'll play the odds. I'm going to go ahead and open up the link and we'll see what the universe is bringing forth today. I'm not sure how long we'll keep going. But the dreams I had this morning, it's the reminder. It is time for reconciliation. It's time for unification. It is time for resolution. Hey, I'm going to bring up first a very bright light and a very spiritual man as well. Welcome, Isaac. How are you, brother?
Feeling good.
We've got another powerful personality here.
I just had
Welcome.
to check, Jack. I know I might not have been the fastest link in the West today because I had to re-acknowledge cookies, but you're also weak, and I think you'd bring Isaac up first to try and dethrone me of that.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Right.
I wanted to offer you.
I know.
That was a test.
So,
before
I get lost in, hey, we're not drinking right now. Before I lose what I wanted to come up here and share with you, Jack, that thing you said at the beginning about the people you didn't know, I don't know what you're referring to, but the people that you didn't know that came at you and challenged or insulted you or anything, one of the responsibilities we all take on as a YouTube host or creator is you don't know how many people have just watched your content for however long, and then the first time they approach you, they're going to have that mentality. It's what I did to Paul.
Hey, your audio really sucks.
Bad on purpose?
Let me check. No, I'm not. I will never, unless I say Isaac, you can't possibly be the man of God you think you are because you do the stuff in front of the camera you do. I'll address you when I'm talking.
Here, your audio really sucks, Tom. Please fix it. And I don't, I didn't do anything wrong, so I don't mind sharing this. This is on my stream from yesterday. This character, the truth is not subjective. I think his channel is Here I Am Lord or something like that. He's a very knowledgeable man when it comes to scripture and the written words, but I visited his stream yesterday, was encouraging to him and his guest. And today I find a comment from the clown: stay out of my community chat. We don't deal with fake Christian and PDF files in our community. Simple. So, for a man who calls himself a man of God, that's not very respectful, in my opinion. But hey, God is the creator of this all. Tommy, did you figure it out? Sorry.
I was just typing. I'm going to come back with a different device.
Okay. Thank you, brother. You're welcome to. Whoops. Here we go.
The only thing I was saying is I don't know why his ego decided to get riled up over not coming up first. That was kind of interesting to me because it just goes to show some solidarity of the mind, and that's not relevant. That's not what we're doing here. It's not important. I don't know. For me, as if I'm critically thinking about reality and the truth, it sparks something inside of me that says there's some sort of confrontation based on how you feel like you should have some sort of mandate that amplifies your ego. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but personally, that's what I felt. So it threw me off. Now I'm thinking about that.
I want to bounce back to that thought. Richard, congratulations. And taking that first step, it can be awkward, it can be uncomfortable, but it can also be exciting. And if you want some encouragement in your path, brother, reach out. Okay. And on this, Ephesians, word edify means to build up. In communicating with others, Christians are called to use our speech to build people up instead of tearing them down. Yeah. And I think that's in line with where you were at too, right? You were noticing the egoic need driving him, right?
So my words might have to break down a false kingdom to build up God's kingdom. If we are focused on these things that control our mind so much, it makes us speak upon it that it's bothering us that like we're not number one to click on the link or like not number one to get up there. Like it's to me, edification would be to build up someone's mind in God's kingdom, not hold the enemy's kingdom in their mind. Like they need to hold on to that. I don't know. So you might have to level the ground first and then plant your seed.
Well, he's returned, and Tommy is an interesting character.
And it's nothing personal. It's just something
Nope.
that I study psychologically then that I see.
Hey, that reminds me. One of the observations to me regarding the Bible, it's a book on psychology. It really is. And actually, so is the Buddhic wisdom. It's paths for the mind, right? To change the way we see with our mind. And we don't have to live with such divisions or competitions. Welcome back, Tommy. How's this one?
So it sounds like the entire time it took me to switch devices, Isaac just took liberties with speaking for me, like a word wizard would do.
I didn't get that, but
That's exactly what I could
No, I can
literally
explain.
say happened.
I can
No,
explain.
do it in the same place I'm asking Jack with my final hours. I just need to know if you and Margot are serious about this thing because I'm going to have 20 hours to play with, and then I'm getting rid of my worldly containment that you grip to and say it's a gift from God. But I got a lot to finish off with my last hours, and it's mostly for the community. Are you and Margot really wanting to schedule this thing?
Tommy,
I mean, I know she's probably down for it, but do you still want that mediation?
my goal is for her to resolve the battles she's found with me. So if you want to help her, I'd love to be a part of it.
I can't help her alone. I need you both. Like, I don't want to say the thing that we've both been accused of, but it's like a couples counseling, even though neither you or I has been sexually fornicating with Margot as we've been claimed to have been. I still need you both for both sides. I'm the fairest panel in this panelverse.
Well,
wow.
Well, Isaac, that's also what I wanted to talk about. Last night, I don't think Jack has any favoritism over rants. I don't even let rants up on my panel. And last night at a place we were at, he said, Tommy, no one says you're the fairest panel on YouTube. I said that it won't be said. It's denied. But that doesn't change that it is. And there's a way that that's done. And it's not it's with me having a lack of bias.
Okay. Well,
Nice.
I know you think that. You think a lot of things. And Tom,
no, we're not going to deflect that.
Let me answer your question. I am interested, and I would, if Margot and you are willing to have a conversation.
See,
do it.
This is one of the ways that makes me the fairest. I don't play these little Margot and you. It's Jack. I'm asking, should I commit those hours on the last 20 free hours I ever spent? Okay, now
I cannot speak for her.
She already said she's open to it every time.
Okay, well.
So when is best? After September 6th, when is the best time? Not intruding on your daily thing. I get that.
You tell me. I don't care.
He's in the chat.
I don't know. It
you
just
get it?
doesn't sound
you get
like
it?
we're speaking about the kingdom of heaven here. Like,
well, that's your judgment. I know you believe that, Isaac.
Tom.
I just don't see the relevance if we're speaking about the kingdom of heaven. That's all this is.
Oh, Isaac, I know he has his subject for the day. I was popping. This is the only way I can talk to Jack. I'm asking him aside.
You know how to reach
by changing frequency in your
Oh
voice.
no, you've abused that, Jack.
By changing your frequency up and down through your emotions. I'm confused because I just don't feel the harmonization there. Like, I would be kind of worried if I was doing something with him.
Isaac, you're right. He's not harmonized. Tommy's got a good heart, but his mind is like the world. And
it had me before too.
You know, the world had me before as well. But I don't remember ever being like some of these other people I've seen.
Same. I had God's essence since I was like 2. However, I've had a worldly mind that I had to once be reborn out of.
Yes.
So I'm
Okay,
different a little bit because I've always had God's faith. I've never not believed in God, ever.
I didn't. I trusted there was something greater than me, but I didn't give it any time or attention. And I love what you said. You had to bust out of your worldly mind. I don't remember exactly what you said,
Yes.
but that experience, that's what the Bible is talking about regarding the first death, regarding the baptism. It's a
The death of your
renewal.
ego.
Yep, exactly.
That's the first death. And then you'll be judged because you can see it. That's the first judgment, I'm pretty sure. And then it's weird that we choose to be humble about it and show people the same thing because we've seen it and we know the brokenness of humanity.
Here,
It's quite the extraordinary thing.
It's a lot
to
of
be
empty talk coming from you.
stop.
So the way I get my
empty.
unbiasedness
I guess
is
you
I
don't
know
know
how
how
to just.
when you hear it.
Do I get to respond after you've talked about me?
Well, tell you what, Tom.
Only thing I said was you were one kind
I'm
of
waiting for my
disruptive.
turn.
You were, okay, fine.
Oh, thank you, Jack. Thank you, Massa. Now, Jack, nobody seems to realize, like, the same thing I'm going to do, what they should do. Jack, how am I not the fairest panel? What have I done for you to say these things about me? How am I worldly, Jack? How am I worldly?
Just like you're doing now.
What, muting you?
No, you're over speaking. You're arguing.
No, I'm not.
You're not?
No.
You're not argumentative?
You say that about anything that says you're wrong.
I'm referring to you.
This is how. You're mod.
No, that's a deflection and actually a gaslight.
Take turns.
Here,
Some woke ass technology word.
here. This.
I'd love to have an honest debate about any of this.
Well, Tom, you don't allow debate.
That's not true. I'm the fairest place to debate.
Tom,
You.
I'm not going to argue.
Yes,
Tommy.
he's first by his own standard because he has unlimited power there.
Wait, Hank, 1 second. Can you fix your mic? Can you unplug it and plug it back in?
What's wrong with my mic?
It's really low.
Let me change. Someone change my settings, I think. How's it now?
I'm just trying to help you out.
Mic check.
I turned you up a bit there.
How do I sound now, my Isaac? Yeah, I'll disconnect and reconnect. Wait. How is it?
It's a little quieter, but I can hear you now.
Okay. Let's go with this.
There's question about what Tommy had said, and I don't believe it's what was understood. Tom, you're all right, aren't you?
By whose standard?
By the facts.
Nah, you're not the facts guy.
How do you
But
know?
see, you bait yourself into these to further say I'm argumentative, but you're just looking for answers. I don't know what to do with you, Jack. I was just trying to see if we could get this Margot thing worked out before I'm gone.
No.
You know what? I'd love to, but I don't.
But now I wouldn't love to as much. Now I almost don't care.
All right. Okay, then maybe we should.
But that could show the lack of bias once it goes down. But what you and other people say about I'm not this thing, you're talking about these times I recognize Goblin's just going to come up and loop or Hank's going to do his autism. I don't have time for that. But it's not me alone that says, okay, we're shutting this down. If a real issue comes up to my panel, I'll grind that till we see it through or there's nowhere else to go with it.
Tom, can we get back to what
Why does that make you mad?
Because you're not caring about me or what is happening right now.
When I'm asked.
That is why, Tommy.
The tone, the emotion behind it, the just singularity.
I don't care.
Here, actually, welcome, Illuma Taylor.
Need some coherence. It's called coherence.
I'm assuming you wanted to talk to Tommy.
Well, mostly I just wanted to clarify. I think that it was misunderstood, but the way that he used words sounded self-delete-ish earlier. So I just kind of want to. I probably should have chose a different avatar right now. I just wanted to clarify. That
At least he's not
about
TOS.
Right. So I basically
remember when I accused you of trying to steal it with your shitty hoodie picture?
Yeah.
And now you're playing into it. You really are a dumbass.
Yeah, but you were just mistaken on the hoodie picture. Believe it or not, other people have pictures in hoodies.
I can take it, and it wasn't about the hoodie, idiot. But you and this goblin,
MK
you're only.
Ultra. What do you mean? Who do you think they work for? They're not just here blabbering their mouth.
Isaac, do you need a nicotine break, Mr. Man of God? Or you want to swing a tall boy?
Are you giving me one?
What are you doing, Tommy?
Or are you saying I'm a slave and I get a nicotine break?
No, I said exactly what I said.
All right.
Tom, when you said that you were about to leave your earthly containment, what did that mean?
The thing that makes you say I'm going broke and homeless.
Okay,
But
so you're
that's
moving
not
on
the
your
thing you're
apartment.
kneecaps for if I ever see you in life.
$50, I'll
Okay.
send it to you right now. Goddamn.
But
I
do
do.
you think I'm going broke and homeless? Isaac, this is a good thing to talk about. He listened to me secondhand and then started spreading a thing that's not true off of that.
I just said I made an observation and I'll explain the whole
No,
thing. right
Isaac,
now.
I'm talking about that guy that's
Right,
ripping off my bit.
Right. Isaac,
Oh.
this one's not about you.
Oh,
But
I thought you
Tom,
meant me.
I didn't
About
see
you,
that.
Isaac.
Tom?
Your bit has taken a life of its own.
Yeah.
No, stop talking for other men because
I've
you're
got
not.
a bit. That's your bit.
Well, I've got a bullet with your knees names on it.
Welcome, Illuma Dummy.
That's a wizard. He got wrecked last night on TML just like TML did. You guys hate truth.
Change my name.
And I'm
Y'all
proud.
are
I'm
tripping.
proud to go out of here with all of you hating me
Please do.
because you don't hate Tom. You
Please
hate
go.
truth.
Please go.
No, I mean when I leave this bullshit community.
Well, don't wait.
You're stuck with us
How's that? You said I'm going homeless.
because you're obsessed with us.
I'm not obsessed. You're the one that is obsessed with us. Look at your picture. Look at your name.
I know we're obsessed with each other, Tommy.
Who's ever been obsessed with fronting like they're Taylor?
Hey,
Tommy, we're obsessed with each other.
I'm not obsessed with you. I can't
Yes,
get rid
you
of
are.
you.
would you please leave?
Oh, that's a cope.
Tom?
Jack, I want to talk about the things if you didn't keep stacking subjects in between us.
You know what? What do you want from me?
I wanted to reply to some of the things you talked about earlier, and I struggle with holding on to them once all this goes down.
Okay. When you gather your thoughts.
No, I had them gathered, and you do this
Okay.
thing where you start
So
dropping
now
walls between us.
So
Because
now
you
what,
care about me, right? You care about me.
Tom? What do you want now? Thank you. Holy cows.
He should have said sex. That would have been perfect response there.
But the thing is, this is what I don't understand. I know the words I'm saying. I know
The
what I'm
fucking-
talking about. What's that?
Illuma Dummy's picture is just insanely funny, but it's like, do we need that here? Is that respectable?
It is what it is.
Thanks, Jack.
Yeah.
No,
but
I'm
I
just-
want- Jack, what I
It
want
caught
for
me.
you
It changed time. It changed time. It changed reality. It changed our thoughts. It is what it is.
So
Wizard knows that, right?
Jack-
Wizard.
Okay, Jack. What I
Not
want
at
for you-
all. I'm a dummy.
Time wizard.
Yeah.
Dang it, Tim, I'm
Fucking
a
time
Here.
cop.
Hold on.
Fuck.
Hold on. Go ahead. What were you saying, Hank?
Yeah, Jack, what I want for you to do is to stand up for yourself. You don't need to be dominated by these wannabe cult leaders who just think you're weak. You don't need to be dominated by them because they
Well-
don't really have anything to offer you.
That's how Jack does stand up for himself, is by putting himself in the victim role so that he can spin it around on him.
You think that's accurate?
I said it tongue in cheek, as sort of a jest, but yeah.
What if I've actually accepted the fact that I control no others? And part of that, I guess there is some truth to what you said. Part of it is I know that when I can stay calm, it highlights the insanity that I'm facing.
And I also see it in not controlling others, that it highlights you being able to control yourself. I think that was a good job, and you're getting better at it.
Thank
I
you.
actually agree with both of those things.
Well, this is what my life experience has shown me. I mean, I don't have a choice. I do not have a choice except live the life I am living. Now, why I'm not accepted, why I'm not appreciated more, I have no friggin' clue. And I don't mean the people who have been appreciative and supportive. I'm talking about my hometown.
Have
I'm
you tried
talking
teaching
about
them
my
massage?
real. What's that?
Have you tried teaching them the thigh massage?
No one listens. No one has cared to learn what I have been learning. And it's bizarre to me. I mean, I've faced people like Margot and Paul and Tommy and all these other characters that come out of the woodwork and want to tell me I'm wrong. And I'm like, no, you don't know me. And yet people want to believe the people who don't know me. And I kind of think that's what's happened with religions. People want to believe the people who call themselves Christians, and they don't actually turn to God for themselves. I mean, it's the world we live in. It's nuts.
I've got a verse for you in back, Jack.
Please. But Jesus said
But
unto
Jesus said unto them, a prophet is not without honor, but in his own country, and among his own kin, and in his own house. This is the very thing that correlates with spreading the message out upon the world, not just amongst your own selves, because that's where you go without honor. It's your own people that will deny you.
What a useful verse if you would like to ignore all of the feedback you get from anybody ever.
Well, no, yeah, it's not a matter of ignoring the feedback, as you just gave me the feedback. Okay.
I mean, tell me, I'm not saying that it doesn't apply. I'm just saying, like, this verse is a perfect tool to ignore everything the people around you say all the time. Well, look what God said.
okay, so that might be true. And so then you'd want to look at the facts and see, is it true or is it an excuse?
I mean, is your resistance just because I'm in my own country, so to say? And
I can see where you're going there, but no, it's that's going like the sovereign citizen thing, and not recognizing the government. We actually recognize the government, but what we recognize more inherently is the superiority of the God's law, and that's where they got their government concepts and
They don't
legislative
apply that
rules.
anymore, do they?
Absolutely, Public Law 97-280, the year of the Bible.
Yeah.
Can you
So where the
explain?
sovereign citizens go
Wait,
wrong
wait,
is that
I'm curious. Wait, 1 second.
The
Like, is it?
the year of the Bible, as President Ronald Reagan proclaimed back then, recognizes that the Constitution, the supreme law of the land, is based and founded on the spiritual scriptures.
okay.
Then
what?
So where
yeah.
the sovereign
That's
citizens
not
go
true.
wrong is that they declare themselves to be God, then think they override their government. They're not God.
They never claim to be God, and they never claim to be out of God's law. God gets a head nod a few places in the founding documents, but it's absolutely not that.
I'm not sure where we went. I allowed myself to get distracted in the chat for a moment, but that scripture, I never really, I'm not using it as an excuse, but I'm telling you, my life has shown me that the words in scripture are true. They apply to the psychological level, the spiritual level, and the physical level. There's, I don't know what's happening in my life besides what I experience. And like I started out with this stream, when I found faith, when I turned to God, it was in my perspective, it was desperation, because I didn't know what to do. I'd lost everyone and everything I cared for. How do you survive? How do you keep going like that? You have to accept, well, if I have the awareness of my breath in this moment, that means I'm still alive. And if I'm still alive, that means there's hope and there is opportunity for things to change. I used to care about me. I really don't care about me as much. I care about what I do. I care about what I try to accomplish. And my purpose, what I am trying to accomplish, is in my own way, trying to clumsily share my testimony, my faith, and hopefully encourage others, because truly, this world we were born into is so corrupted, so divided. How people consider it okay blows my mind.
Well, I don't know. Good luck with that.
Sorry, what?
Good luck.
Well, there's no one else but us. I mean, if we want the world to change, we've got to find a way to change it. And that's why I started with myself. I mean, I have personally experienced and witnessed transformative changes, all of it happening within myself. I know that change can be healthy. I know it can also be scary, but imagine how much healthier our world could be if it wasn't profit driven and control driven, if it was actually value driven and honor driven. What if the honorable people stand up?
Can I do that and shit on El Perro real quick? Or is it? El Perro, that was 1983. I've been through this with you before, because Congress gave lip service to the Republican right and designated 83 the year of the Bible. Does not mean this country was built on the foundation of your fucking chronology's off.
Okay.
Yeah, the country wasn't found in 1983, so.
Now I'm understanding more what that legislation was. Thank you, Flo. Yeah, Reagan did some interesting things in his time during the White House. Many of these characters who've been playing the role of president, they're absolute criminals. And so I said this yesterday, seriously, the American government, between the corporate and the state, it is criminals enabling criminals. So if the American population is going to continue enabling criminals, the world doesn't have much hope.
And the point of that document is the wording in the document. Just because it was written in 1983 doesn't mean anything. What it's referring to is the foundation, as you read those comments that I left in the chat.
I know, it makes it plain. It's bullshit. It's lip service.
The principles of the spiritual scriptures are the foundation of the nation's laws and everything, because it was this.
That's not true.
Read the documentation. It says so.
No, that thing from 1983 says so. If you want to learn about how this country is founded, look up the site Cyrus Scroll. our Bill of Rights happened thousands of years ago. This isn't new. It's not original, and it's not based out of Christianity.
I'd agree.
It's saying this country that has a constitution that says Congress shall not
Right.
establish the law respecting its establishment or religion. That's because they have to recognize some kind of spiritual scriptures as the foundation. They can't come in as man and say these are the laws.
That's
Well-
exactly what they did. The First Amendment says this is secular, motherfucker.
Exactly. That's what I'm pointing out.
Here,
The
let's.
Constitution is secular, but in that secularization, they have to recognize some kind of spirituality.
The fuck
Okay,
if they do? That's not what they do at all.
please, because I can understand both of you, but what I think Flow State is trying to get across is it's not actual. It's in the appearance, right? They place these words and people believe the words, but if we look at the truth, this American Republic is all about slavery, man. Slavery is not well, I guess it is. It's the Old Testament version.
It's about slavery even less than it's about God. You guys are both nuts and pushing your own causes.
It's about slavery less than. Wait, what?
The foundation of this country was not about slavery. It was not about scripture. You guys are fucking nuts.
It's all been, you know what? Here, we can argue over what things were, but the reality is, this is God's story. All of the past happened before we were born. And right now, what do? Are we going to continue like this government is healthy? No, I don't see that happening because there's some major players outside of the United States borders who are really maneuvering to make sure that America crumbles. So, and the people that have been elected and placed into positions of representation in America, they're sure as hell not happy. They're not helping peace to be found. I mean, let's face it, the representatives of the United States government have stood in the way of peace and ceasefires in far too many cases, not to mention the militarization of the United States government, making sure to overthrow all of these other democratically elected governments. All of that stuff happened not only before we were born, but during our lifetimes. If humanity wants a better world, it's time for humanity to start figuring out how to get along. Jess, you are delusional, lady. America is not at war right now.
They're at war on our conscience mind. They're at war against their own people.
They're at
They're
war
at
on
war against
drugs.
the whole world.
We're at war through Ukraine. We're at war through Israel. We're at war through Taiwan.
Yeah,
Through the Trading with the Enemy Act,
yeah.
which is a
They're at
wartime
war with
act.
their people, against us in our food, in our water, and in our fucking mind. They are against humanity being at peace and uniting.
It is literally known as a program of economic warfare, but it has been extended to times of peace and on domestic soil. That is the Trading with the Enemy Act and the Interstate Identification Index, where you're supposed to have a state ID to do any business.
Well, here's the reality I see. Our freedom has been sold. It's a free market. So people are free to sell everything they can get away with. People are selling water. People are selling freedom. People are selling get out of jail cards. All sorts of stuff are for sale. But unless you're
Genius.
we can change this world. I believe that it is happening. I'm telling you, I have so much hope and faith from what I have been allowed to learn and discover There are so many amazing people. There is a spiritual revival that's happening here on earth. And I think this is the prophecy. I've said this before. I believe that God is fulfilling prophecy through us at this time, because there are wars and rumors of wars, despite those who want to hide their head under the covers. There's wars and rumors of wars, and people think good is evil, evil is good. I'm an example of part of that. I'm actually a good man.
Your little facial expressions after you said that were creepy. Yeah, the trust me face. Trust me. You can go to sleep.
Hey, I have plenty of evidence.
Here, have a drink of this.
And plenty of Kool-Aid.
I have plenty of evidence that supports my facts, that supports the facts about me, my character, my true reputation. I have plenty of evidence. People in this world don't really seem to care about evidence. They care mostly about opinions.
Yeah, I could care less. I just know who God says I am.
How do you interpret that, Isaac? How do you interpret what God says?
Pure, sanctified, holy.
How do you know if you are?
Which one of you is more holy?
Yeshua says I am.
Jack versus Isaac. Holiness, battle of the holies.
Hey,
There's no battling here. There's only harmonization.
exactly.
I mean, but which one of you is the most holy in this harmonized scenario?
It's
God
level
is.
ground. It's level ground at a higher elevation.
So you're more holy because your elevation is higher.
It's
No one's
level up
above.
here.
No one's above or below anyone.
Exactly.
It's relative. Someone
So
might be
am
at a
I
lower
as holy?
consciousness, at a lower experience. It doesn't make me separate because I've been there and I've done that and I've had to learn the same thing.
So you're equally holy. You've just done more and you know more about
It
holiness.
doesn't take judgment.
I've never done more. No, it's an understanding of the heart and the mind combined.
There's
Your
no
heart has to be aligned with your mind, or your mind will be the reptilian brain and it'll take over.
exactly.
Actually, even more. It's even more than that, though, because it comes down to acceptance. Okay, that's what it comes down to.
Goblin just up holy to all of you.
Well, I'm just
Hey.
saying the heart is 20,000
It's
more times powerful than the brain. So you got to realize the heart is an organ that has a brain-like structure of a quantum electric field that creates your torus field, that when you interact with other human beings, your heart energy aligns with their heart energy and creates its own frequency. So when you're aligned in those frequencies, you understand harmony and you understand peace.
It is magnetic field related. Yep.
And Browns boy entering the fray.
Hey, it's really not a competition, but what
Oh,
what
no, I
Isaac
didn't mean to enter. I was just saying something.
No, yeah, you're the most holy now until somebody takes that belt from you.
well, we are all pure and holy until we corrupt ourselves. Isaac, what is that garbage you're putting in your
Was
body?
that Clamato?
It's a relative point of reality.
Was that tomato beer?
Holy cow!
What scale would you use to judge?
Why would you put tomato juice in beer?
For one, you're wrong. Your perception should have been higher. I showed the can for a long time. It's a Budweiser.
Okay. So Wizard is now winning the booze competition, but he's still falling behind with me in the holiness competition.
Here's how
I think
we
it's
know.
funny they serve caffeine.
You forget I'm
They,
not
they
even
serve caffeine at every church service, but they'll tell you mushrooms are bad when I only was ever closer to God on mushrooms and had a deeper heart energy frequency torus field, whatever you want to call it, towards God.
What church told you that mushrooms are bad?
Almost
That
every
goes
single
all the
one.
way back
I
to
get judged by
it's in the book,
Christians
bro.
every day. I get judged by other Christians every day for saying I found that mushrooms got me closer to God.
I would agree with you.
Like they'll call me crazy, but it's like I saw what I saw, I felt what I felt. I was
What'd you
always
see?
planted in God, and God is the source of every action I do. So no vanity can come out of it because I'm seated in God, and every action I do is growing for God. No
How
weapon
big
formed
were those
against me shall
calves?
prosper, and
Hold
God
on.
shall use
Hold
everything for
on.
good.
Hey, Isaac, please.
Yes.
I've been trying to jump in here, and
Sorry, I just zone.
I know, but drinking Budweiser is for God.
I mean, I've prayed seals over my heart to only manifest positively.
Okay, but Isaac, I trust that, and I trust that I understand where you're at and
Yeah,
that idea.
Jack
But
takes the lead.
I have a. I'll tell you why I drink.
Intervene on your less holy brother, Jack.
No, I'll tell you why I drink. I'll give you the explanation. I become so conscious and so aware, it's hard for my human body to want to resonate with that frequency, so I drink instead.
that's an excuse.
It
And
is an excuse,
Isaac took the lead again.
but that's. I'm telling you, I have such a deep vibration sometimes. I'm so aware and so conscious
Isaac,
that it's like I need a break.
okay, and
That's it. But
May I
I'm
say
telling you
that
why.
this is one of the most interesting things I never thought I'd ever hear anybody say. I just never thought I'd hear anybody say these words, so I just thought I'd say that.
I'm
I do
telling
like
you
how
that's
he
why.
pivoted. He did a pick and roll and spun that how he was being intervened on into how the booze actually makes him. He just vibrates too hard, Jack.
Yes.
You wouldn't understand because you vibrate slower and shallower.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
well,
I'm
we
just
Jack
have
saying
just
that is
Jack
why.
just vibrates around the rim.
That's why I do it. That's why I didn't. That's why I called in for work today. I was
Oh,
so fucking
we
thinking
need
deeply,
Jesus.
super aware, hyper aware. Like
Hey, Isaac, this thought came to me. It's a symptom I assume I see in many people. I think it's a lack of purpose, a
no,
lack of purpose for your time regarding growth in health.
no, it's
Okay,
hyper awareness, hyper
all right.
conscious,
So it's not
ultra
an
conscious.
excuse. So it's not an excuse that you're
It,
telling yourself.
it's too intense
I,
almost
I'm
sometimes.
too intense according to what? What
Like
scale?
the fact that the people around me aren't aware on the level that I am.
Mhm.
It
So
makes me
what?
feel alone.
Well, that's on you. You're using the drinking as an excuse. No offense,
It's not
brother,
an
but it's
excuse,
the
it's a
truth.
fact.
Okay.
So
At
let
what
me ask,
point?
what do you
At what
expect from
point?
people?
At what point is a fact a reasonable choice, and at what point is it actually just a self-sabotage?
Narcissism. I was gonna say just narcissism.
Okay, so you don't have moments where you're so conscious it hurts?
Yeah, I've been practicing meditation
Like every day, bro.
So you have
and
awareness that that is outside of your limits and you can handle it?
What are you talking about, bro?
well, I've been
That's what I'm telling you
if
happens.
here, Isaac, if
I
I'm
have days where I wake
understanding.
up and I'm hyper lucid and I everything is more intense because I'm hyper lucid.
So
Mhm.
what's one of these Jack, can I ask what was one of these hyper lucid things that you know now that the rest of us don't know?
It has something to do with my vision.
Explain more. You can see what? Extra
It has
colors?
something to do with the lack of God's fruition around me in time that arises potential threat and like accident.
So let me just say this real quick. Maybe like this could be some like weird autistic shit right here from me, but and I apologize if it is, but it shouldn't waste your time. Number one, you're loved. Number two, you have the answers. And number three, nobody's above you or below you on a soul level.
Yeah, I know that. But I don't know that I have the answers.
The answer is in Budweiser.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not saying I have the answers.
Hey, Isaac, I spent many years looking for
I
the
just
answer.
get that conscious. I'm not. I
Hey,
wouldn't
Isaac.
speak that up. I only speak what is true.
Hey, Isaac, please. I don't know
Yeah.
if can you not hear me when I'm talking?
No, I can. I'm just explaining real quick.
I was going to share my own testimony. I looked for answers at the bottom of many Budweiser bottles and cans.
Yeah.
Never
True.
found it. Never
No,
found
you're
the
right.
answers. And I convinced myself I didn't have the answers. But back to what you were asking, I don't know your exact situation. I don't know your exact experience. It'd be foolish of me to even imagine that I do. However, the question you asked, yeah, I've been brought to my knees many times with the belief I can't take this. I can't continue. This is overwhelming. There's nothing I can do. But I would not allow myself to turn to booze and other stuff ever again because that was my past. So that was a choice that was not an option for me. So what I did do is I have been expanding my practice of surrender, prayer, meditation, because it's through that surrender that, okay, Father, all right, God, I don't have the answer for this moment, but I do have my trust in you.
It's never faded for me. That part.
Well, I want to encourage you and everyone else. Let's try to expand our faith and see not just what we can handle, not just what can we tough through, what can we accomplish. I believe that God will allow a world without wars,
Yeah.
and I want to try and help that to happen.
Same.
So let's see what we can do.
Which one of you is more peaceful?
It's a matter of are we peaceful, not a matter of level of peacefulness.
Moments it might change for sure, but I think generally
Let's
Isaac,
just say I witnessed a guy drowning and no one else would jump in, and I jumped in and knew what to do and saved him. I risked my life and almost died to save a
So
man.
you're braver.
I'm just
I
saying.
need a graph to map out these virtues.
I know what peace is enough to, in a stressful situation, be calm, still, and confident. But there are moments where my own mind will make shit up and make me overthink everything. Yes.
How big were the mushroom caps you ate?
The most I've done with 10 grams.
Jesus.
here
And
that
I had the
mind.
best trip of my life. And I almost dedicated my life to mushrooms, and I was going to share it with the whole world. Because it was so beautiful, man. Like, if I could describe the beauty of this, you would probably never want to work for a corporation again.
I don't want to anyways. And I
Yes,
don't
but
think
I'm
I've ever
saying.
done more than an eighth at a time.
Oh, okay. Well, no. Okay, fine. I mean, when I say 10 grams, I did 5 grams of like triple to double potent mushrooms. So I'm like the equivalent of 10 grams. Yeah.
Oh, cap.
No cap. These bars were like 12 different. No, like 6 different strains from Colorado where it's legal, or ordered to my doorstep. $60 for 6 grams of double potent mushrooms. In oh my god! One night I took 14 squares.
Can we come back to the topic where I was
But it was
saying,
just, yeah, I actually would worship God on mushrooms. I
I
know it
guess
sounds
not.
crazy, but
I
I
guess
would
we can
worship
come back
God.
to the topic.
Oh, like
Isaac, are
when I
you here?
yeah. Yes, I'm just saying when I would take mushrooms, I would worship God.
Isaac,
Yeah.
right. Okay. Can you're kind of lost in your mind, kind of like what you were.
No, I just
No,
speak
Isaac. Hey,
outside of
Isaac.
time, man.
Hello,
Outside of
Isaac.
time.
Hey, Isaac. Can you resonate with the present time?
Well, that's what he was talking about.
No. Well, maybe, Maybe the
Don't
conversation,
try to blame this on me.
No, but that's what we were talking about.
Isaac, actually, before the conversation went back to your topic of mushrooms,
Yeah.
the topic I was trying to bring us to is, hey, the world has brought us to here. And I thought you agreed that you want a world of peace as well, without wars, and we want change.
Yeah, I saw all that on mushrooms before.
Okay, so that's the past. Can we join in the present?
Yes.
Any new ideas that can come up?
Yeah, of course.
What can we do?
Mushrooms.
Listen to our ancestors.
And what did they tell us?
Peace.
Okay, and how do we share peace?
Respect.
It's something that resonates in your heart as a frequency.
Already there? Now what?
Make action. Go do something for someone right now.
There we go. And what can we do?
Anything. Anything that would show someone a smile on their face will ripple affect their reality.
Can you imagine the smiles on the faces of those men, women, and children in Gaza who might find some smiles if they found out American citizens got off their fucking asses and got control of their government? Can you imagine how excited and happy they might become?
Yes.
Let's get off of our asses and see what we can do
That's
to
their
get
problem.
our government. Please. I guess I ran him off. I don't know what happened.
Did you chase off Mushroom Man? Damn it, Jack.
I didn't mean to.
He was just about to win the Holy War, and then you bullied him out of here.
I have a problem of that, don't I? How do I become more gentle when I feel unheard and unseen? How do I become more gentle?
So this actually, I've been kind of joking the whole time, but on a serious note, do you think that and this might not just be at you, but it seems to me that people who have issues with that don't recognize that forcefulness isn't always aggression. You know what I mean? Like, you can be assertive and forceful without being hostile or aggressive. So I don't know if that answers your question directly, or if that's just sort of a answer to something else that is tangential. But
Well, it's true, but it comes down to perception. And people's perceptions, while they're not always accurate, it's theirs. I mean, they're entitled to perceive what they want. And Isaac, if you're there, you did leave because of me, I apologize. I mean no offense.
and he might have just his signal might have cut or something. You know, I was blaming you because I was joking around with it, but because you were not being particularly hostile.
The reality is, though, is that's what I've been accused of by people who didn't want to ask me questions. Jack, what do you mean? Are you meaning to be hostile? I mean, I've had people run off and then we've all heard Margot and the others.
Yeah. Well, Margot's more hostile than you are. That's for sure. Margot's more hostile than basically anybody I've ever met.
I know. Well, which is ironic considering Tommy offering the fairest panel for Margot.
Right. That's just false advertising right there.
Yes. What can we do? Seriously.
Hit the Cash App, hit the PayPal, like the video.
Here, we've got a couple of guests. Welcome, Margot.
Hi, Flo.
We said her name 3 times.
Exactly.
Hey, actually, Tommy, maybe Margot, I don't know if you heard Tommy earlier. He was asking if you wanted to have a conversation.
Hi, Tommy.
Yeah, and Margo, you remember I'm saying on my channel because we know what happens here. But I
Yes.
came up off of the current subject matter. Like, if you guys are so aware of hostility, how many people on this panel are trying to low-key hostile with how they came up here? Two of these names
What is
are
your
also
point?
doing mine. Can you tell which
Okay.
one?
Is there a point?
Well, Jack, I know it's not specifically about you, but I've seen it done to you.
Okay.
There was a time that 80% of the trolls on this panelverse were rocking your picture, and now look at all the Illuma dummies and the Illuma flows, and
Okay,
it's
so what is
just
your
stupid. It
point?
doesn't affect me. It's an example,
What
but it
is
doesn't
your
affect
point?
me. Okay, so if you're gonna lead people, how are you missing my point right now? They're
There's a lack
talking
of
about hostility
I'm
as
going to remove
hostile
you.
ones.
Yes, and you are. I'm going to
Whoa,
remove
whoa,
you.
whoa,
You're
whoa,
going
Jack, are you being fair and loving?
Yes, to myself and to everyone else. Thank you, Tommy.
Did I miss
So
his question? Did he ask me a question, Jack?
I don't think he ever did.
Okay.
What he had asked me earlier is if you and I would be willing to have a conversation on his panel sometime after the 6th, if I remember accurately.
I can't even right now with you, Jack. Like, what competent person do you remember?
Did I repeat your question accurately? The 6th, after the 6th?
How are you ever going to acknowledge it's going to be fair when you're, I mean, I like the test. I'd love to see your enablers show up and admit, yeah, that was fair. This is good, Jack. The way you're treating me, it shows that I can look past all this and get to the bottom of it.
Do you have
But yes,
some?
I get my hosting hours back at the 6th.
Do
So
you?
anytime I'm
Okay.
saying between the 6th and what day did I say it definitely was going to be ruthless by mine own accord, like taking off in Jesus's Civic.
Don't sound too dependent, Tommy.
What
So
does that
is
mean?
there a question, Tommy?
Let me look
Mark?
at a calendar for a second. Visually. Hold on.
Holy cows.
Is it? Well, I mean, continue your panel, Jack, and I will think on a second. Sorry to plague you with my presence as a friend and a loved one of this channel, right?
And a
I
lover.
do have a question for Flo.
Fuck you, Flow State. I got 2 weeks off for what'll happen to you if I ever see your ass. And there's
Flo,
Please go check your calendar.
Yes, Margo.
you claim that I'm the most hostile person you've ever met in your life?
Not
when
really.
I'm not
but-
here. When I'm
not
not
really,
here.
but you're pretty high up on the hostility meter.
How's
Am
that?
I hostile regarding more than one subject, or is it just one subject?
Well, this is good.
Well, I guess I've only seen it expressed in one direction, but
I just
I
want to
have-
make sure that I'm
yeah.
communicating properly and I'm portraying what I'm attempting to across
Yeah,
the masses of YouTube. You know what I mean?
right. No, that's a
Okay.
fair point. I've only seen it expressed in one direction.
All right. Thank you for the clarification. I appreciate you.
Thank you for the clarifying question.
And just so everyone knows, that meant nothing to me. Whatever was just said there.
Well,
That
I'm
does sound-
curious. I'm actually curious, especially since, again, Margo, you've chosen to join my stream to talk to other panel guests. Do you care to share your intentions for your public displays of hostility toward your singular target? You want to explain yourself, please?
What are my intentions? My intentions are to clear the names of people that he slanders.
But
That's
you're
one of them.
okay. So, Margo, can we discuss? I mean, seriously, specifics, because without specifics, no one. I don't know what you're talking about.
I
don't wanna
will
assume.
discuss specifics as long as you guarantee me that you will not cut me off for 10 minutes.
That's a long time.
How about we just try to cooperate like adults?
Will you cooperate and not cut me off for 10 minutes?
Could you take 2-minute intervals?
I just went pee. I won't
Hey,
need those intervals.
hey, Margot,
Yes.
if I see civility, you're not going to get cut off. So let's just try and see if we can practice some civility.
Can we have a
And
mediator that will cut me off if necessary, rather than you?
I wouldn't mind cutting you off sometimes.
well, I'd like it to be productive. And I kind of think that's allegedly what Tommy was offering. But frankly, I don't see the reason to continue putting it off if we can be adults and have conversations. How about if issues come up, we can address them?
All
Is
right.
that fair?
I will preface this with nothing that I'm about to say is new information. It is things that I've said in the past that I stand behind 100%. Okay, I'm ready.
Well, you were asked to explain what you're attempting to do with your public hostility directed at me.
All right. Well, there's several things in regards to other people that I care about. I want to make sure that when you slander them, that I'm sticking up for them online.
What specifics are you referring to?
You're referring to Gina, your former wife, brainwashing your former son about you.
Okay.
You are
So,
claiming that she's capable and
mhm,
willing to do something so unkind to her own child.
mhm. Okay. And so, despite your finding offense with the way I described it,
Yes.
where do you stand in relationship to the facts? Okay. And what
Well,
I mean
the
by
fact is that
oh,
you
hold on, Margot, please. I'm not here for you to just belittle me. Okay. If that's your intention, then we're clearly not on the same page.
I yield.
Thank you. So, Margot, I'm really trying to understand your logic because maybe you can help me better understand what you think happened with me. Because according to me, I got sober, I worked towards amends and improving myself. And after I got sober, what is your story? What happened to me that caused everyone to be justified by pushing me away? What happened to the sober man after? What happened to me, Margot?
I don't know.
Okay,
That's
but
your
then
story, not mine.
okay, but Margot, this is the problem. You've been running around so confident and claiming that you know all this about me, yet you don't know.
I know that you slandered your ex-wife on YouTube.
That is, Margot, you're deflecting. We're back to the topic. Okay. If you don't know what happened to me,
I know
why
that you
have
slandered your wife on the
why
internet
have you never asked me any questions about what I've experienced?
because I know the facts. I don't need to ask you questions about that.
Okay. Is anyone else hearing her contradiction?
Yeah, only if she doesn't produce facts right now, she's definitely contradicted.
Are you saying that he has not said that his ex-wife brainwashed his former
Your
son?
fact does not require my opinion.
Here, Margot, let me try explaining this a different way, and maybe you can try to understand without finding an offense. Okay. In most families, I don't believe it is normal or healthy for a mother or father to encourage separation from the offspring. I don't believe it's appropriate for a mother or father to encourage the breakup of a family. Do
Had you
you
said you were going to kill
disagree?
yourself during this time? Were you institutionalized
Margot,
against your will?
Margot, please reply, please acknowledge what you heard me say. Do you believe it's appropriate for a mother or father to encourage the offspring?
I don't know what you're referring to. Are you referring to the fact that you think that that's what Gina did?
How about this other way of presenting it? Do you think it's appropriate for a mother or father to violate the parenting agreement?
I'm not a judge. That's not up to me.
Okay, a reasonable person. Is it appropriate for a mother or father to violate a parenting agreement and separate a child from their mother or father, from the other party?
If
Is
he's
that
claimed
appropriate?
that he's going to take his life, then absolutely she needs to keep her
Okay.
child safe.
Okay, so where does a claim actually get investigated?
That you said you were going to kill yourself?
Okay, but or again, Margot, the kill myself. All right, you want to focus on that. And here, Margot has warned all the neighbors and she's been very public about her past worries. So Margot, who was in danger when I was at a point of ending myself? Who was in danger?
Well, you
Besides
obviously weren't
Margot,
capable of parenting
Margot,
at the time.
besides me. And Margot, you're also not considering your part. You were so evil and vile to me. You were part of the public attacks I was facing. I know you don't remember.
I remember everything.
Well, yet you can't remember any of your lies, which I've shown you to be a liar many times.
What did I lie about?
Well, how many times what year did you claim I was going to be dragged out of my house and evicted? You started that rumor back in 2019, if I remember right.
Actually, you were the one that said you were going to be taken
Telling the
from your home.
neighbor, no, Margot. See, I tell you what, there's three other people here. Is anyone here willing to try and get to facts? Because I claim
Paul will come up and tell
I
you
got
right now that
one,
you
but
were
I
the one
bet you
that's-
these other people who are smarter than me probably also have one. So I would yield till they finished for myself.
Well,
here.
Except for
Jack,
the
I have to
dream
admit, this has been one big slap in the face. I am that person. I don't have any favoritism to any of you. I can narrow down facts better than the best of these.
Here,
oh God.
please be patient. And Tom,
But you're replaying the first time. You're saying, why does it have to be on my channel? And you're showing
okay,
why it has to
all
be on
right.
my
So
channel.
then, all right. So then, did I bring you?
Oh, I looked at the calendar. The first 2 days of September, like a Friday, Saturday, I'd say, because I want to do a LARP church coming back. Anything after that Sunday in the first week of September, I'm down for it.
I'm not available that week. That is the week that I'm returning to my classroom.
What about that weekend?
So that would be September.
I mean the
15th.
the weekend I said not to do it, like when September starts. What about that weekend? I'd do that. I'd do it.
We could do it on the 8th, Sunday the 8th. I can do that.
All right, and I'll just do the LARP church separate then. That's fine. So
Okay.
wait, hold on. You said the 8th?
Is that the
I think
8th?
you're. Hold on. I got it up.
You have your calendar up,
No,
I
I'm
do not.
saying. Oh, sorry. Oh, fuck. Did I misinterpret the thing? Oh, Sunday the 8th. Yeah, that's fine because the days come back on the 6th. Yeah, that's fine. I was wrong about when September starts. I'm retarded. It's retarded.
All right.
All right,
is that
so Sunday the 8th.
Sounds good.
And then you guys are both West Coast-ish time, or I don't want to dox either of you, even though one person's house is on the market. But like afternoon, evening-ish. I'll just set it up as upcoming if you guys are kind of open with the
Perfect.
whenever.
That sounds good.
So by Friday the 6th, I should be able to post it upcoming. I don't know if they let you post it without hours. It'll be posted by the 6th.
Perfect.
But Jack, come
Good
on.
marketing. Good job, Jack. Or good job, Tom.
But do you see what you're doing up here, Jack? Because I hope you guys make it smoother by the time we do it. And Wizard, how are you going to go to any other panel after this and act like you're somebody when you look demonic? You come at me all the time because I've busted all your wrongs, and you think just laughing in front of your picture and nodding your head will make any difference. You're a fool, Wizard, and an old coot.
Wizard, are you and Jack attempting to look like twins, or is that just
They try to be
osmosis?
friends, and they were
like
the
osmosis?
biggest enemies for the longest time, and I don't see what's changed except Wizard playing low key to get in here. He's still the same guy. His daddy taught him not to do anything.
Thank you, Tommy. Appreciate the follow through and the scheduling.
He'll be a great mediator. I can't see how that could go wrong.
I don't hold any hope or faith in Margot or Tommy. They're both clowns. So
That wasn't very loving, Jack.
I don't care, Margot. It's factual. You're an ignorant, hostile clown who is quite confident and proud of her bitterness. So, Margot, I don't have to prove myself to you or anyone else. I've been trying to. I've been polite and trying to reason, trying to communicate. But this is insanity. The fact that a lady like Margot thinks it's appropriate to treat a man like me the way that she has. Margot, why?
You asked me to explain why I've done what I have done.
Right. And Margot, all you offer is your opinions and blame. You've not accepted your part in your opinions. You haven't accepted responsibility for your part in your choices. And you act like you and I, like you're so different than me, that you're so superior to me. And you and Chemo and all these fucking flying monkeys.
I think it bothers you.
Hey, Margot.
We know your truth, Jack.
No, Margot.
We know what you've done, and
no, you don't, Margot. Margot, you don't know.
Hey, Margot, what does your opinion have anything to do with the fact of what is being shown here as the message? What does your opinion matter at all, Margot? I don't care about it. I can probably name people that don't care about it, and they don't even know you, and I don't even know you. I don't care.
Here's the thing, though. She doesn't care.
Why do we care if you care?
And that's kind of the problem. This world we live in, the egoic demons have convinced themselves not to care. And those who don't care, well, they get bitter and angry. So, Margot, your lack of care doesn't give you any jurisdiction to be a public prosecutor of me.
I think that she's responding in type. She's saying that if you're going to publicly prosecute your ex-wife, that's what she's responding to.
That's false, because she's using that as an excuse as her behavior. Her behavior attacking me was long before she even met my ex-wife. And I don't know. I don't know if she's even met Gina. I assume she has. This psychotic alcoholic. And Margot, you are a dry drunk. Seriously. When I was reaching out, I was trying to find out who the fuck is Margot's sponsor. She's sick. She's wormed her way into my life. She has no part of my real life experience. Yet in front of you, witnesses, she wants to make the claim she knows me better than I.
That you guys were in AA together.
So what?
I understand.
She does know you in real life then. Didn't you just say?
She has no part in my life. We shared a room in AA, a public room, for like an hour, maybe a day, for a few months. I mean, when I started working on myself, I moved out of the meetings. I mean, I moved on.
I gotcha. I didn't. Yeah.
So, Margot, and the thing is, Flo, you and others, many of you have heard her bragging about the things she's done, reaching out to authorities in town, city council, the detectives, the private investigators, making sure to gossip with my neighbors, right?
Does she have you blackmailed?
She has no part of. She thinks she is. I mean, she thinks.
I mean, because like if you just don't let her up, then literally I never would have heard of her ever.
I know, and here's the thing, though. Why does Jack bring up these people who are attacking him? Well, I'm praying to God that they stop and see what they're doing, because Margot actually has a lot of opportunity to repent.
That's for her dumbass to figure out.
And I'm asking you dumbasses to help her figure it out.
I think we just did.
Margot?
What do I need to repent for? I'm lost.
You are lost. So if you can accept that
I defend your ex-wife and now I need to repent?
No, Margot, you don't defend my ex-wife.
It's almost like you two are partners in this loop.
Is she defending my ex-wife or is she defending her opinions? What do you guys?
Yeah, that's an intention thing. None of us can actually know the answer.
Why don't we look for facts? Why don't we look for facts? Yeah. Is she defending my ex-wife against what? What is she defending my ex-wife against?
Slander.
And what are you offering to me?
Slander.
We wouldn't even know to slander her if you didn't tell us about her, Margot.
Exactly. I agree with
Margot.
that.
You could
That's on you, Margot.
And it's like you're the arbiter of slander as a third party to the truth. That's just fucking idiotic.
Oh, she's an educator, guys. She's an educator. She's part of the education system, which is not part of the New World Order at all either. She's not brainwashed at all either, guys. So don't worry. She's completely sane.
Oh, hey, Browns boy, I actually appreciate you bringing that up. Hey, welcome to you, Machine Lies.
Hi, Machine Lies.
She's a good little slave.
Well, this is another, again, whose character should be trusted, right?
Mine.
Well,
I trust you, Flo.
Thank you. I trust. Well, thank you.
You guys are enablers. You've been enabling each other for a while.
You enable her more than I do.
That's not accurate. It is accurate. I have been publicly trying to call out her bullshit. So your false narrative, Flo, is wrong.
There's no bullshit to call me out. I am who I am.
Hey,
I'll
Margot,
call myself out.
I wasn't talking to you, Margot.
I'll call myself out.
No, you don't. You're a liar.
You understand that you can enable somebody while also denouncing them.
Right. So rather than worry about these opinions again, can we come back to the mock prosecution that Margot wants to present, that she's innocent of any wrongdoing whatsoever, that she's righteous in her public slander of me?
I think I've seen her on OnlyFans.
Let's please
send the link.
No. The other part to this is Margot believes in the government, in the authority, in the ways of the world. Margot, you are wrong on many things.
Thanks, Jack.
Margot, it's a usual thing for women like you to be duped into believing false things, and then thinking that they are your own thoughts, and then repeating them.
Brian, you get that link?
It's
I
called
once
the educational system.
I once believed I was a man, but now you
You're,
can't.
you're a woman.
Wizard, is your wife still teaching, or did she retire? I forget.
No, she's retired.
Thank her for her service. I appreciate
Oh,
what.
I do all the time.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
With his
But I
Got
also
any value?
I also let her know the truth of the indoctrination she went through and the indoctrination she put those kids through.
So you're re-indoctrinating her?
How about this? Despite Margot's opinions, I actually have an honest testimony of faith, of God, of surrender to God. And Margot, despite what you want to think about me, these accusations and these excuses you're using.
When you said you've never heard anyone in the past, is that what you're talking about?
Will you please let him finish his sentence with respect, as you would like to be heard?
I yield.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Margot, your behavior is not appropriate.
Either is yours, Jack.
Let's focus on you right here and now.
It's your show. You can focus it on whatever you want.
I'm trying to get you to see you. What would help you to consider that your attacks of
I know
me?
what would help. I know what would help. Literally, what do they call that? When like a restraining order. If you put a restraining order on this bitch, she can't even come on the stream. I bet you.
Well, there's already a restraining order on Jack against me, so we're
Yeah,
covered.
Not
okay.
accurate.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
let's back that up right fucking there. You got a restraining order on Jack and you're up on this panel? You're an
No.
ignorant fucking bitch.
She's a
Thank-
liar. She's a liar.
It
Oh.
actually did. It expired years ago. So
Margot, you
Oh,
are
so there
a
is
liar.
no protection order. There is
Right.
no protection
No,
order
I
as
was
you
joking
just
around.
portrayed.
Hey,
I was
See, that's your
joking
heathen
around.
lying shit.
hey,
I was
Margot,
around.
Margot,
Caught in the
can
moment.
you acknowledge that you lied?
I was joking in a joke. Yes, I did. I acknowledge.
Oh,
I
but you were
did.
defending it so hard. You were defending it. That didn't sound joking.
Are you guys having fun?
Are you a big liar?
You're
Am
the
I
one that
fired?
just admitted. You're the one that just
know
admitted
what?
that you do these tactics
Guys.
because somebody else does them, and you have no basis of foundation that Jack does those tactics. That's just what you're using as your excuse to do them yourself. That is again insanity.
Jack shows his true colors all by himself. He doesn't need me.
Hold on, please. Margot, you are showing your true colors.
So are you, Jack.
What is, do you hear yourself? Are
Do
you
you
a
hear
fucking
yourself,
little
Jack?
are you a little child?
No, I
What
am
is
not.
your, here, back to this nonsense.
Did you throw her or did she dip?
I threw her.
You were just ramping up onto the good loosh.
Flo, I appreciate you, but you don't understand what's happening, man. This is my fucking life, you moron. And this woman has had direct effects to my family life, my professional life, and my public life. I'm trying to figure out, how do I fix my life? Now, Brown's boy brought up the idea of doing a restraining order. I can keep that bitch away. I don't have to let her up here. I
That's
know.
why I said that you're enabling her earlier, because you do continue to give her screen time.
Right. And this is what I don't know what words to say to, I'm inviting anyone on this earth to please join me in my experience to try and help me resolve these attackers.
That's why I pointed out what I pointed out just now.
So you're offering nothing?
Are you kidding?
That's what I hear. You're offering an opinion, a blame. It's my fault, I guess, for bringing her around.
Well, I'm offering you I'm putting the locus of control back in your hands. You do have influence over the situations around you. You're not powerless.
Neither are you, but you've been choosing to enable. I pointed it out to you a long time ago, Flo, but you found the disagreement with me in the economic system and maybe the religious stuff I say, the spiritual stuff.
You think I don't disagree with her?
I know that you enabled her slander and you encouraged.
I enable her because you do.
Wrong. See, if you go back and you look honestly, she spent far more time with you, was far more comfortable with you. You welcomed her into your life.
And she's still welcome. But my point is that I don't believe the sincerity of you trying to remove the problem from your life because you keep enabling her and allowing her up.
Well, I've been doing the same with you.
That is true.
So I guess what's true for her, I should apply to you too.
Well, I don't think that you actually want us out of your life.
No, I would love, as I said, please join me in my experience where I'm not a horrible man, where I didn't deserve the public harassment of people like Margot, Paul, Snafu.
And that's one of the main reasons I see Jack doing what he's doing, because of those confrontations. He doesn't want those, so he wants to mend them. That's the ultimate goal, is mending those enemies that are at war with him. That's one of those wars.
This is it. I didn't pick these wars with me. I didn't pick these battles. I am a man of peace, you know, and regardless of opinions, I started this earlier. My explanation, my testimony is true. The foundations of my life changed. Margot brought it up. Yes, I was prepared to end myself a couple of times. I had no one. I had nothing. So fuck you, Margot, and kind of fuck you too, Flo.
Kind of fuck you too, Jack.
Machine Eyes, you've been patient, man. Please.
Well, with that, well, before we go any further, guys, I'm going to go grab a bite to eat. So with that, fuck you too, Jack. I love you. You know that.
Blessings. Yeah, thank you.
Respect.
Yeah, respect to you, Wizard.
What do you think, my friend? I don't know what to do. I've still got Tommy, Flow State, and Margot. Neither one of them seem to really care about helping me to enjoy my life experience.
I like Flo. I think Tommy's on the same thing, because he's gonna come up and try to get you to come to Denver or whatever his thing is. You know, but Flow State won't do that, I think. But yeah,
Won't do what?
You know, try to like entice people to come to Denver or whatever. Whatever that game.
Oh, I'm not traveling out that. I'm not going out of my way to see Tommy like that. If Tommy's in Kansas City, you know, he can let me know where he's at, and I'll meet up with him.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about my kneecaps. I've met a lot more scary people than Tom. I've pissed off a lot more scary people than Tom.
No, it's just like he wants to do it on the stream, so he could create a situation.
Yeah, I know. He wants me to come up. If he wants people to,
he wants people to come to his stream.
Right. But then when you get there, he acts like a douchebag, and he's the worst backstager of all.
He's learned from me, I think.
He learned from Paul. Paul's worse than you are. I mean, you got it a bit, but you know, I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to Neurojack.
Hello. What does the recording thing mean? I don't know what that means. Uploading recordings. What does that mean? Sorry, I was just curious.
I'm not sure. I think it might be something I set with the StreamYard. It allows people to do their own recording.
Oh, I see.
make
Okay.
it more clear or something. I'm not
Yeah, I've
sure.
just never seen it before. Sorry, but yeah, it's I kind of came in blind. I saw like a little bit of the stuff, and you know, I think in a man of your position, it's very difficult to know what's the right course of action when people are just throwing around, strange accusations all the time. So I don't think there's a clear answer of what's the correct thing to do or not.
Thank you. I appreciate that level of understanding, because honestly, I have racked my mind trying to figure out, and actually I've spent a lot of time analyzing the behavior, and I've got a good idea of what's within a lot of different people, such as Margot, even Flow State, Paul. People aren't actually that difficult to understand if you listen to them and you pay attention to them. But trying to figure out what is real and what is an opinion, what's not, that's where it can get confusing. But honestly, my life is what it is. I had to accept this is the life I'm living. I am not as described. Margot is wrong. The accusations are wrong. I've not harmed anyone. I've not. So then what does one do?
About what? To what end?
In my situation, with my goals, the life I'm living, I have the resources I have the connections I have the knowledge I have, and the desires I have. What do I do?
I think that you need to adjust your goals into the present, right? It'd be like if you had a bunch of car parts, you can't just sit on the pile and drive it. You got to put the car together. You need to put your car together.
Can I ask you a question, Jack? Just very it'll seem off topic, but I think I'll bring it very quickly back to the topic at hand, if you don't mind.
Please.
Are you more of a young guy or a Freudian guy? Which one do you kind of prefer between those two?
Yeah, Jung over Freud.
Well, the reason I bring up Freud a lot is because I think people recently have kind of brought it to my attention that he and Edward Bernays and people who are in marketing, they kind of like to figure out like, what do you want, right? And I guess what I'm saying is, like, have you ever thought about taking your project to the streets, where you might go and interact with everyday people and see where they're at, and see if they might want to join you on your journey to address people in power? You know what I'm saying? Have you ever thought about?
It's easier to share Kool-Aid too in person.
That's true. Yeah. So I was just thinking, maybe as kind of like taking a poll and see where people are at, and maybe you can refine your project to address people where they're at. And
did you know that you can make chloroform with rubbing alcohol and bleach?
No.
No.
Hey, regarding what you said, I have. I mean, I've tried a number of different ways, because when I found myself completely alone, no other friends, and before I really ventured out into this online stuff, when I found myself alone and yet learning the things I was learning, one of my prayers, God, what do you want me to do? What do I do with the knowledge I've gained? Where would this be best served? I tried going back to the rooms of AA. I tried finding other addicts to help. I tried finding broken people at the bars, on the streets. I've been to the churches. I went to the NAACP. I went to every nonprofit organization in town. I discovered Veterans for Peace. I thought someone in this world would want what I've been offering. I'm trying to share it freely. I'm not asking for much, except maybe a little bit of respect. But
So what are you offering?
everything I've learned, I'm offering myself. I'm offering opportunities to build and grow the Live Without Fear brand. I'm looking to connect with other people who believe that, hey, if we tried real hard, we might be able to help influence the people in Congress and maybe do something to end the wars, confront the corruption that everyone is complaining about.
Well,
I mean,
if you don't mind, let me contextualize what I'm a different way of viewing it and see if it all helps. And if it's not helpful, at least I tried.
Appreciate it.
If again, to go back to the Jung and Freud and bring it into what I'm trying to get at, with Jung, I find it's difficult to use that to reach people where they're at, right? And I think with Freud, you can find out what people desire, where they're at. And again, so like if you know somebody has an addiction, right, and they don't want to get help, but you know that the best way to get them help is to kind of drag them along until they kind of see that you're trying to help them. And maybe you fail, maybe you don't. At least you made the effort to get them on the right path, right? And I think that that's kind of what I'm trying to get at with everything is like, how are you going to attract people to where you're at long enough so they can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel? And even if they don't make it all the way there, sometimes seeing that there is light there is enough, right? And I think that that's kind of what I'm trying to impart. And again, doesn't mean that I'm right. I'm just trying to say that this is kind of how I view, someone like yourself who's trying to get an actual project, off the ground and get people who want to change things, because the truth is a lot of people are addicted to the lies and the fear and the war and all these things. And, so it's no wonder that people are being played off of those addictions, right? So I think that that's kind of the way I look at it.
With what you said, in my opinion, that's kind of what I feel like I'm doing with enabling Margot and Tommy in my life, is bringing the damaged people along. I know they need help. I know the best way to help broken people is to be an influence in their lives. And the reality is, it's only going to take one. I've known this since 2018. Well, I can't say I've known it, but I've suspected this since 2018. If I find one person to change their mind, to allow themselves to learn from someone like me, well, there would be the testimony. And then others might start paying attention to me.
Well, and just really briefly, I wanted to make another finer point on what we're saying here. Again, this is just a brainstorming. I'm not trying to give you advice per se. This is just a brainstorming.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
My kind of idea would be for you is to say, where's the line, where's the balance between helping the broken people and attracting enough less broken people that it adds stability to your project. And I think that's a very difficult thing to balance. I'm not trying to give you an answer to that, but it's something that I would take under advisement for the future if you want to gain more traction. And again, we can't really measure these things. Ultimately, only God can measure the success or failure. But I'm just trying to make the case of something to consider.
You're making some wonderful observations, and I genuinely, I appreciate it. I've had so many people just telling me I'm wrong, that I need to do things different. I need to be different. What I've learned for myself, I control no others. I found my freedom, and this is what I'm trying to encourage others. Machine lies. He's the one he described it perfectly. I found my freedom when I recognized the limits of my control. And once I focus on what I can control, I'm free to do as I want and as I choose. And I choose what I want, and what I'm choosing to try and do is not only trying to pick up the pieces of my past, I'm trying to restore my family, despite the opinions of other people that I shouldn't even try. Fuck, oh dear. Excuse me. I'm trying to pick up the pieces of my family, trying to restore my reputation, my ability to economically provide, right? All of that stuff requires cooperation from other people. No one in this world rises or falls completely alone. But I tell you what, those who are left alone, they got a better chance of falling than they do of rising. And thanks to people like Margot and others, well, I am where I am.
Yeah, and just to tell a little metaphor of kind of you know a potentiality is during the civil rights movement when you had sit-ins in diners and people literally, or even John Lennon when he stayed in bed for a couple months and said make love not war. Sometimes doing nothing as an example to show people that sometimes just not reacting when you're being pushed to react is also productive in some senses, right? And I think that if you really see MLK and John Lennon and other people who are flawed, sometimes when they tried to do nothing, it was the most fear inducing to the people that love the lies and the war and the fear and all that. So, again, just something to ponder upon, I would say.
Well, that's a lesson I've been learning, honestly. I accept responsibility. I've been very honest and open about my mistakes. I yelled at people who didn't understand me. And when I yelled at them, they got feelings. And when they got their feelings, well, that was their excuse to stay away from me. My question is, I mean, Margot wants to paint this shit on me every day. I mean, current day. Yet what she's alleging has no facts behind it. And what she's her timeline of the past is all convoluted. Like I said, I've got evidence that supports my innocence in many of these accusations, not only from Margot, but from my ex-wife and the Postal Service. So I know I'm not above or below anyone else in this world. I know that we're all a part of the same experience. And this, I mean, the topic of the stream today, what world are you a part of? I'm a part of the world that includes everyone we've seen today and even those we've not seen today. We're all experiencing the same world. So why are we battling each other?
Well, and again, to go back to the addict metaphor, you know, sometimes people in a state, and maybe all people, but a lot of times people are not persuaded by facts, they're persuaded by narratives. And I think that when our enemies are, or not enemies, but, you know, competitors who are using lies and violence and fear to win over people are using those tactics, sometimes we have to acknowledge that a narrative is more powerful than the truth to people who don't value truth. So I think this is something else to mull over, you know.
Well, the truth is far more than we like to realize. That's what I've come to know. We can only know aspects of truth, and the only aspect of truth we can really know is right now. Margot, I would love for right now to be the start of some change with us.
All right.
Is that possible?
It is
if you can never say that you never hurt anyone and not slander the people in my life that I care about. That's a good starting point, I think.
Okay, so for so do you want an agreement? You want a promise? You want a contract for me to obey your standards of me?
No, no.
What's the rule? I mean, what are you offering, Margot, that's different?
Well, if you don't slander the people that I care about from the past, then I think we're all good. But when I have people,
Okay, so are we done then? We're there. Is it a clean slate? There's no damage to repair.
that's up
As
to
long
you.
as Jack obeys
Your
Margot.
behavior will determine where this goes, Jack. Just like Flo was saying,
Oh.
locus of control. It's in your control, Jack.
Would you say that you also will take responsibility and not provoke a similar thing? I don't know you guys' situation whatsoever. I'm just asking from a third party, basically neutral point of view.
Right.
Will you
right.
also make a similar agreement?
Please.
I'm reading this. She's naming her rules to further humiliate Jack. No, I'm not.
Okay, well, sorry for the interruption, Margot. Can we come back to what Jack asked?
Jack, will you repeat the question? I apologize. I got distracted.
It was regarding the conditions you want me to obey. Is that being mutually offered? You're going to make the same commitment regarding you and me?
Oh, if you don't talk about Gina or Dominic again, then I won't come after you. Is that what you're saying?
What is the terms of what you're expecting from me? So clearly you want me to never talk about my son again?
Well,
you're fucking delusional. You're batshit crazy, Margot.
I don't want you to.
You know what, Margot?
Light. I don't want you.
Margot, the question was,
light.
What?
I don't want you to shine a negative light on people that I care about in Spokane, Washington, or otherwise.
How do I know who you care about? Which people? Are you going to give me a list so I don't disobey your demands?
Well, you claim to be a man of God. You shouldn't be talking poorly about anybody, Jack.
Well, Margot, the talking poorly is your interpretation.
Well, and just really quick, I mean, Jesus was kind of rude to people who were, he saw as evil. So, I mean, where do you draw the line?
Thank you.
Well, Jack, if you do not talk poorly about people I care about, then you're good in my book. It's that simple.
Yeah, so you say.
That includes Chemo. He's a friend of mine.
So what?
You asked me what I felt should be the conditions of an arrangement. My condition is that if you don't want me to come after you, then don't come after people I care about.
Margot, are you a fan of the Bible, by the way?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Do you think that a man should have dominance over a woman's situation, like the Bible says, or not really?
I believe that is an individual decision made between a man and a woman. If a woman chooses to make the man of the house the protector, the ruler, and the decision maker, then that's the life that she's creating for herself, and I respect that.
So I would like to better understand again, Margot. You are, if I understand correctly, you claim that there will be a change from you in the future as long as you don't perceive me insulting anyone you care about, despite not giving me a list of who you care about. But as long as I obey Margot's perception and never mention my son or anyone from my past again.
You are dramatizing this, Jack.
What are you offering? Just to stay away from me? Is that the best I get from you?
That doesn't even make sense, Jack.
Please explain, because you don't make sense.
Well, if I don't make sense, then why do you want me to try and explain something to you?
because what you're doing makes no sense, Margot.
Standing up for people I care about? That doesn't make sense to you?
That's what you keep saying, but that's not what is happening. Okay. So,
Never mind.
Margot, all you're doing is being obtuse and controlling, and you want to paint the picture that you have jurisdiction over my family. Am I the only one who is witnessing this insanity? I can't be. Maybe it's time to wrap up. It is time to wrap up. Final words, guys.
Bye. Love you. Live without fear. What time is it? Going live in like 50 minutes.
Thank you. Neurojack, thank you. And Machine Lies, thank you. I don't think you've been here an awful lot, Jack, but I do appreciate what you offered and what you brought sincerely. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I would just say, you know, people who make peace unobtainable ensure war will follow. So that's all I have.
Respect to you, brother. I'm going to toss you the back and thank you. Brother?
Yeah, the topic here is what world would you like to be a part of? And you see that people draw narratives and they tend to focus on certain things. You know, the devil is in the details. You know, organization and rhetoric conceals logic and reason and the facts so many times, you know, and we have to pay attention, you know, leave the symbols to the symbol minded and live in the world as it is. All we have is our present means to achieve what we want at this moment. You know, we're not going to have forever to make the changes we want. Whatever comes up comes out. Don't ask why if you know it's wrong. And if you feel something, don't wait forever to make it happen. Go do it now, today. Blessings, guys. Thank you so much. Choose to live in the world as it is today. And thank you for being here with me. Blessings.
All right. Thank you, brother. Sincerely, today took a turn different than I imagined starting with. And what I started with, brothers and sisters, for those of you who tune in, sincerely, I think the numbers have already dropped down, but I do encourage people, please check out where I start in the beginning with the monologues. This life we're living, it doesn't matter what opinions are about me. My words are honest, okay? Particularly my words of faith. When I'm pointing at God, I'm genuine. These are words that I did not understand when I was raising my son. This bitter bitch, Margot, who's shown up here time and time again, she's sick in the head. I've prayed for her to find mercy. I've prayed for her to find clarity. But the thoughts of peace today, these are genuine from me for you to please consider. Trust that the Lord has plans to prosper you and to not harm you, to give you a future and a hope. And the awareness of our breath, the awareness of our life today is simply evidence of opportunities. What life is, each moment of life, each breath we receive that continues our life, it's evidence of forces that are greater than us and intelligence that's within us, that surround us. We know this intelligence in many different ways. Mother Earth, the beauty of the air, the refreshing water, the cleansing water, the soil that provides our foundation for life. This is all our world. We are all a part of this world. The divisions and the competitions and the fights and the arguments and the putting each other down, it's insanity. Brothers and sisters, the true path is peace. Peace can only be known through a reconciliation. That reconciliation with you, your inner being, and what is true and real. We know what is true and real, not from the thoughts in the mind, but from the answers that arise from the heart. And we don't hear the heart when we're constantly bickering, constantly battling, constantly blaming. The heart it's drowned out. Brothers and sisters, let's wrap this up. I want to sincerely thank everyone who joined again today and those who may find their way back in the future. Sincerely, thank you, and choose love. Peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless us all.